All right, so welcome back to the Black Sheep Podcast. Today our episode is a hilarious title, which I have named You Can Snort Meth, but You Can't Drink Raw Milk. So cheers to that.
Cheers.
All right.
Thank you.
So good. So good.
I hope they got my mustache.
It's sweet.
Very sweet. That's right. Delicious.
Do you like it?
Do you like? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great. That's
I'm
right.
like, do you like it? I'm like just waiting for your approval.
That's from a Jersey cow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't taste a huge difference. Like, it's good, but it's great.
Okay, thank you.
And the milk I drink from home.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Good. All right. We
I'm
got
flattered.
your approval then.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
really
Good.
I'm flattered. I'm flattered. So today, guys, I just wanted to give everybody a reminder to like, share, subscribe. If you want to comment in Spotify, that helps our rating. If you want to comment in any of the reels, we would appreciate that. Just trying to get some more exposure. But today, we want to welcome Sandor to the show, who is a local commercial dairy farmer in Ontario. And he is going to be discussing some of the topics that we often discuss, which is raw milk,
Health.
regenerative farming, why we do it, why we sold our house in the city to move and do a business that we have no business doing because we know nothing. So that's kind of what we're going to be discussing today. And here, this is where we question all of the dynamics and all of the norms that we're taught and where we are kind of breaking through on topics that people don't even know are topics to discuss. Right? Like like not a lot of people even understand what we're about to talk about here today. They don't understand the gravity of the control that the government has on our food system, on our bodies. And I think the title says it all. We can literally snort and smoke meth that is prescribed or given for free at places all over Canada, but we're told that raw milk is completely illegal and offering us what did you say? How many years in prison? if
3
we're
years in prison.
3 years in prison and $860,000.
$860,000 fine if I were to sell raw milk for a month.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'd lose my license.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So today we've got a fellow regenerative farmer joining us, a farmer who's made the switch from conventional to regenerative farming. He's raising beef, doing dairy differently, and talking about the taboo topic of raw milk. Okay?
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So in Ontario, it's illegal to sell raw milk, but you can buy lab-grown meat. You can consume crickets. You can consume all kinds of junk food that is not even considered food. But what we want to, have a sip of this.
We spray pesticides and herbicides and
Yeah.
like glyphosate on all of our produce, and we can consume high sugar diets, and yet there's something backwards about our system when we actually just want to drink something that's so pure and so nutritious for us.
From a healthy animal.
Right.
Yeah.
Where we know right where it comes from. So today we're asking the real questions. Why is raw milk illegal when it's arguably one of the safest, most nutrient-dense foods? Who benefits from keeping us afraid of food that comes from a cow, but not afraid of food that comes from a lab? And why does the government think we can be trusted with fentanyl patches, but not fresh cream? So give us your farming origin story and what led you into farming.
I come from generations of farmers, and largely dairy farmers as well. So basically, as far back as I can look, our family has farmed. Originally in Holland, that's where I was born. I immigrated to Canada when I was 4 years old. And in that time, in 1993, there was a huge wave of Dutch immigrants. And the reason is because you could sell one farm in Holland and buy 2 equivalent farms here in Canada. So my dad farmed together with his uncle in Holland. And then in that time, they were able to sell that farm, come to Canada, and now they both have their own farm that they can grow with their own families kind of thing. So
Okay.
that commercial dairy farming, that's my childhood. That's basically all I ever knew.
Okay.
Right.
And so
right.
are they still farming now?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. My
wow.
uncle still milks cows. That's right.
Cool.
And I actually just this past year we took over the rest of the farm legally from my parents.
Oh, very cool.
We were in a partnership, or not part. We were 50% owners of the incorporation, I should say,
Okay.
for 10 years. So
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Very
now,
cool.
now my wife and I are 100% owners.
So your parents are retired now.
Legally, yeah.
Legally.
But yeah, my dad doesn't know what that means.
So he's working on your farm with you still.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
cool.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with my
Okay,
dad.
so when you leave to come here, he can come and help.
Yeah.
he's
Well,
there.
he helps every day,
Every day.
regardless.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's in his blood.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
Yeah.
He wouldn't know what to do this time if he
See,
didn't have
but
to
you're
farm.
so lucky though, because we can't leave. We don't have anybody that can come and stay and like take care of this for a week at a time.
No, that's right. That's definitely a benefit of having a larger farm because we have employees too. I've got some great full-time help.
Okay, cool.
We have a big enough farm that we need a full-time help.
Absolutely. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
because that is already in place, it makes it easier to leave as well.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
Right.
Okay. So what was the moment that made you say this isn't working anymore?
For me, it actually didn't have that much to do with farming originally. It
Okay.
was my own health that broke. And then I went through the medical system and listened to everybody's advice, did everything according to the book, and it didn't help. It didn't fix what was going on with me. Like my hormones crashed. I had zero testosterone. I had less testosterone than a 90-year-old man.
Really?
Wow.
And
And how many years ago was this?
I was 25 years old. So now,
So 11 years
yeah,
ago.
11 years ago.
Okay.
So when I was 25 years old, and I was constantly asking the doctors like, "What's going on? What can I do to help or fix it, or what can I do differently?" kind of thing. And it's like and actually I should rewind a bit because when I went to my family doctor originally, my wife is like, "Your libido's been terrible for like 6 months." I'm like, "Has it been that long?" So then
So you were married to your wife at this time already?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. So then, and so we went and made an appointment with the family doctor, and he's kind of asked me to take my shirt off, look me up and down, like, "You got body hair, you have some muscle mass, you're fine, on your way," kind of thing. It's probably just
Okay.
something in your head. So then,
Wow.
and
Your
then
wife,
like,
so your wife's like, I'm not attractive.
oh my God, like
100%.
literally.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's me. You don't love me anymore.
Oh, it's so true. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like obviously it really affected our relationship. It affected
Yeah.
my health. It affected the way I couldn't even with a little testosterone and it affects how your body heals
Sure.
from the stress you put on it. So
Sure.
like my body hurt all the time. My joints hurt. It was all I could do to force myself through a full days at work. And then like we had some young kids miraculously during that time too, probably because I was put on hormone replacement therapy,
Okay.
which probably helped. But I still never felt right. My body still hurt, and my libido was never what it should be for a young man. So, but we still managed to grow our family. But then I was like, just forcing myself through a day's work and then trying to be there for my kids
Right.
at the end of a long day. Like I was half the father I should be, half the husband I should be. I couldn't chase my dreams. And then, so like, it's easy to kind of sum up the story and say how I got better, but that was a 6-year process
Oh, wow.
of first going from one specialist to another specialist and then
Trying to find the root cause.
Trying to find the root cause. And then eventually getting to the point where it was like, I started obsessing about my health because it was like one of the few things I had control over.
Right.
So I was like, anything that people said was good for your body, I tried it to see if it would help for me. Like I did cold plunges for a year straight, cold showers kind of thing, and never took a warm shower for a whole year just to see if it would help.
Yeah.
And I did fasting. I did the vegan diet. Actually, I did that for a while because that was like 20.
Us too.
Yeah. So when I was 25, like the vegan diet was having its heyday. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like it
Yep.
would solve all the world's problems.
Yep.
So I was like, well, like if it works, it works. Like I just want to get healthy. I was desperate. I'd try
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
So I tried that for a while as well. And
How'd that go?
All of a sudden, he's realizing his testosterone's much lower now.
no, that's right. It didn't help my hormones one bit. But it did shift me towards whole foods.
Your breasts got much bigger, though, I'm sure, in that time.
Yeah,
with all the
thankfully I didn't have
estrogen.
too much tofu. But a lot of beans though.
Your wife's like,
Yeah.
fuck, and your boobs are getting bigger.
Yeah, and I started exercising. I never exercised before that. I was always just kind of naturally slim.
Yeah.
more along the lines like I struggled to put on weight, if anything. But yeah, so then I started exercising as well, but didn't really put on much weight or muscle mass. Just did it because they told me if I didn't, I'd lose the muscle mass I already had. So yeah, I stacked lots and lots of healthy habits. And it wasn't until 6 years later I did like a prolonged fast, and all of a sudden afterwards I felt better. And
How long was the fast?
it was 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing crazy, but it's
Just
enough
water?
to give me just water. Yeah. And I don't think I even did salt back then. It was just water. Yeah. But so like I still do fast every once in a while, but now with the salt added to it, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. Do you think it was a parasite thing, perhaps, or?
I have no idea. I don't think so. I believe it was just I was burnt out, and then because like I didn't prioritize my health beforehand.
Right.
I thought I was young. If I wanted to achieve things in life, I had to push hard,
Yep.
work hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like I still hang out with my friends that didn't have kids, so like they stay up late till 3 o'clock
Right.
in the morning. So I would as well. But
Worked
then
hard too.
I, yeah,
Party
but then I
right?
still get up in the
Yeah.
morning for like 4:30, 5 o'clock, whatever it took, and then milk cows and worked all day. Then try to squeeze in a nap sometimes, and then so like I'd average still like 6 hours a night during the week, but on weekends I'd get like 2-3 hours of sleep.
Oh, wow.
And then I did that for years, and then just that together with I was reacting to my foods. Like I had all sorts of food sensitivities. And then that's one of the things I noticed, like I switched to like that vegan diet. And then over time, I just got more and more food sensitivities.
Right.
It just kept stacking. I was like,
Right.
I'm going the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like something is not working. So then I started incorporating more meat. And then, and I started to feel better. I started like get more traction, less bloating and stuff like that. I also visited a naturopath for a little while, and they told me, "Oh, you're reacting to these kind of foods." I was reacting to the dairy that I was eating, which like I would eat like Gouda cheese every meal, almost kind of thing. So like I just thought like I just got a big belly. There's
Yeah.
a little pot belly, right?
Right.
That's part of who I am, and I didn't know any different until I started removing those foods.
And then
I was like, "Oh, like the belly is shrinking down to a normal size. That's cool."
So it was just bloating.
I was always bloated, yeah.
Interesting.
And then yeah, and I didn't know any different because it was just every
That was
meal it
normal.
would be something that I would eat
Yeah.
something. So for me, it's eggs,
Yeah.
and then A1 casein and lactose that I was reacting to. So I took all dairy out of my diet for a while, and eggs as well, and then, but then like that helped with that bloating in that moment. But then over time, I started reacting to more things. I started
Right.
reacting to like sulfites and stuff like that, and like food colorings and scents and stuff like that.
And
like,
you started to also become more probably self-aware of like what was happening.
yeah, that's right. I get more in tune of like, oh,
Yeah.
there's something that's not right in my diet.
Right.
And then so yeah, I started looking further, and then I first I started adding in more meat, which helped. But then and then I even tried like all the way to the other extreme where I did the carnivore diet for a little while. But then
Us too.
yeah, so then I struggled to get enough food in. A lot of people are probably
I
jealous.
struggled with that too.
I think a lot of people might be jealous because like I had to stop because I couldn't eat enough food.
Yeah. I struggled with that. I really, Jen did much better on the carnivore diet than I did. Well, at the end, she didn't, but at the beginning, she did. I couldn't
was
eat
full
the
of
amount of
shit.
food.
Literally.
She was literally,
Yeah.
I just couldn't eat all the food. It was just too much food for me. Too much protein, too much meat. Like I just couldn't do it. I generally don't eat until 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Like I just go all day. That's not hard for me. But to have to wake up and put all that food back, I was like, this is crazy. It was just too much.
Yeah, and then so then I tried the raw dairy because there's people talking about like, hey, like raw dairy is great if you have a sensitive stomach. It's great for your digestive system. It's not like something that you don't react to the same way. And I was just like, maybe I'll try it. I'll try anything really. It's not the craziest thing I've tried.
And just to know, you had raw dairy your whole life.
Oh, I
until
had
you
raw
were-
dairy as a kid.
As a kid.
Yeah, and then my mom was told that that's dangerous. So then she started like pasteurizing on her own.
How did she do that?
So yeah, so I clearly remember the day because that was the day that milk started tasting terrible as a kid. And so what she would do at first is she would microwave that milk in the microwave for 10 minutes. and then like, yeah, you could literally taste the plastic in the milk.
Can you
And I was
imagine
like,
That's
the
crazy.
microplastics in that?
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
so then, so like,
So funny.
and then after she tried that for a little while, I guess we were complaining about the taste. So then, so then she
love
started
cheese.
buying milk.
Gee whiz.
So like we have like we produce milk, but then she
Yeah.
would buy milk from the store for us to have in the house, and then for that just tastes like water to me.
Yeah.
So like from then on, I never drank milk. I still had cheese and yogurt and stuff, but I never drank milk since my mom started
Microwave.
microwaving that milk.
That's so
But
funny.
prior to that, it was never a health concern. There was never any
No.
danger with.
No, we
drinking
never
raw
got
milk.
sick from it. No, like it was just like my mom was a little cautious when friends came over, kind of thing. If you've never had it, just try a little bit, kind of thing. Or
Yeah.
or like, hey, this is raw milk.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
because it definitely can affect people that have never had it before.
yeah,
Like, not in a bad way, but I mean, some people say they like shit or they have to shit like pretty quick, or it goes through them maybe a bit faster.
yeah.
I don't know.
There's a bacteria population that you need to adjust to. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
It's no different than like taking probiotic and prebiotics.
Yeah.
Right? Like your
exactly.
body's not used to that. And if it floods your system right away, you're going to eliminate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then as an adult, you're here. It is what it is. You've done the microwaved milk, and you've gone through being a vegan. What inspired the shift to regenerative farming and doing dairy differently?
Yeah, I think so. Like that kind of broke my mindset getting sick, and then I started just getting used to looking at the world through different eyes, kind of thing. So like because like the establishment didn't help me with my health, so then I started looking at like, hey, like the establishment of agriculture, it's like first it's like, is that really the food that I want to eat to heal my body personally? And it's like, well, this is not really the way I'm doing it. And
Right.
then so then I started looking around, and like I personally was motivated and looking for ways to give our cows a better life. Like maybe it was from the time when I was trying to eat the vegan diet that I became sensitive to that narrative. But
Yes, the programming of that for sure.
yeah, so I was just like looking for ways to give my animals a better life. And that's kind of when I first came across regenerative agriculture, the term, and some farms doing it. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting, but it would never work on a farm like ours.
Why did you think that?
Because of the scale. Up to that time, whenever I heard about a farm doing regenerative agriculture, it was always on small farms.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then just being in the space and keep learning about it, I was still interested. And then I came across a farmer called Gabe Brown.
Okay.
That's from the States, and he has a farm that's bigger than ours, way more acreage.
And how many acres do you have?
We currently have 700 acres.
Oh, wow.
And how many cows?
We milk right now 210,
Wow.
and then dry cows and young stock on top of that.
And I bitch about having to milk Mabel.
Yeah. Oh, don't feel bad. I got it easy. We have robots that milk our cows.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I'd like to come out one day and check it out.
Yeah, it'd be neat for sure.
Because I'm like always like when I go to the farm shows and I see the robots, I'm always like, I just don't like that. But I'd like to see what.
Well,
you got going
I
on.
like it for the cows because they're not chased anywhere. So like they like we've always had pretty chill cows because I spent too much time playing with them.
Yeah.
But once we stopped chasing them to the parlor every day, like they it was a whole other level of chill cows basically. Like they're not used to being chased anywhere. Like we clean the stalls around them. If they're laying down, we leave them wherever they are. We work around them, and then so the cows they just like they come and check you out while you're working because like it's like the most interesting thing that happens throughout the day kind of thing. And yeah, so I quite like it. And then they're on their own schedule. They sleep when they want, they eat when they want, they get milk when they want.
So when they want to get, are they on the system where like because I know some of them get smart and they're like, oh, I just want to go back and get some of that grain. So like, do you scan them so they can only go in once a day or twice a day? And so
Yeah, there's a program. They actually like cows that produce a fair bit of milk. They can get milk 6 times a day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then that drops down as their milk production drops.
Sure.
Then eventually they have like just 2 milkings a day.
Right.
Yeah, on average our cows milk 3 times a day.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, that's interesting. How are you handling milk now? And how are you handling milk now? Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, at the moment, we produce milk and we sell milk just on the regular commercial market.
Okay.
The way I hope to produce milk in the future is it's intimidating to switch the whole farm over because we have a larger farm. So I'm starting things on a smaller scale with our grass-fed beef, with our pastured turkey and chickens and stuff like that. Just trying to get my feet wet with marketing and telling my story and getting the word out. And I hope that as we gain more and more support, that to switch the whole dairy farm over to regenerative practices, but also keeping every single calf with his mom.
That's huge.
Yeah, it would be a very unique product for Canada.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it until after I think 2 or 3 years of me trying it and like just making content about it. People are like, "Hey, we do that here in Holland," kind of thing, or like, "Oh, we do that in Norway and Sweden." It's like it's actually very popular in Europe. So like I've since been like networking with these people. Actually, they invited me to speak in March in Holland on the subject. So I'm pretty excited about that too.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you're headed this coming March to Holland.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's neat. I mean, it is one of the biggest turn-offs about being a dairy farmer.
Definitely the biggest criticism,
Is I know there's a guy up the road who's been really nice to me, but he's got the cow hutches all out front, and I like could cry thinking about how they're chained up on like a very short chain, and once the mom has them, they're immediately removed and they're taken to their hutch and they're locked on a chain there, and they can go, literally they have enough lead to go walk out of the hutch and stand and go back in. Like there's only in or out. That's your only option. And I don't like it. As a mother, I just don't agree with it. And so because of how I feel about that, this is why I have a 1 year and 4-month-old calf that's still fucking taking my milk every day because I haven't been able to get over the hump of figuring out how to separate them without the crying and the mooing, and I just haven't figured it out. And in all fairness to me, I never had the calf as a baby. If I got her she was about 6 months old. So if I had her when she calved, she would have known me and wouldn't have been so timid of me. Someone also told me that I had to break her and that I had to rope her, like get her on a rope, like halter her.
Yeah.
And so I locked her in one of the pens and tried to get the halter on her.
Yeah.
And it lasted for, oh God, probably 25 minutes. It was like, I wish I would have recorded it. It was just a shit show. It was just me chasing her and scaring the shit out of her, trying to get a fucking halter on her. And then it took me a year to be able to, that happened one time. It didn't work. I never got it on her. And then it's taken me now a year to get her to allow me to make contact.
Build that trust.
Scratch her. When I'm milking her mom, I always did the same thing. I'd bring mom in to the stanchion, and then beside my stool, I would have a little tiny grain, not a lot, just a little bit, and I'd bring her right to me. And she got really good at putting her face in it and pulling it back.
Knocking the tail over.
So she'd just be pulling it away from me. And finally, a year later now, she eats beside me, and I can pet her head and scratch her, but she still gets spooked.
Yeah, it's one of the downsides of actually having the moms raise their own calves is that the calves usually are more feral. They're more wild. They're more timid because they don't have that positive association with the person feeding them 2-3 times a day.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're experiencing that.
Yeah, that's right.
But I guess the one thing we have learned with raising them is that it's about building trust. We don't have to break their spirit. We can work with them, feed them, build trust, and have regular routine with them.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I'd love to tell you about how we wean our calves, because we really work with the calves' nature to wean them slowly and gradually. So it's not stressful. I always try managing a way to, and then if I start hearing the calves vocalizing, then I'm pushing it too hard. I need to back off a little bit and wean them even more gradually. So you can do it in a way that there's basically no vocalization, no stress.
If you want to talk about it, you're welcome to tell us. Tell the audience. I'm sure they'd be fascinated by it.
Yeah. So in where we have our mom cows, we have a creek feeder in the corner. So it's a separate pen that the calves can fit in, but the moms can't. And they get a little bit of extra grain in there to help them grow. And to be honest, they don't really eat that much because they'd rather have their mom's milk than the
Right.
grain. So it's just kind of sitting in there in case they might want it. But but they do use the space. So I'm not sure what the reason is behind it. One of the things is that with like if you watch cows or cattle that are out in the wild, or just like because there are some wild cows still, like the domesticated cows have been released to the wild, and you can watch how they behave, and they're much like deer. They're hiders. So naturally, the mom will have their calf, and they'll hide the calf, and they'll go out and graze, and then they'll come back and they'll feed the calf. And that's also the reason why cows naturally eat their placenta. They wanted to remove any evidence of the birth, so that predators have less of a chance of finding it.
Do you let your cows eat the placenta?
We do, yeah. It's a
you do?
great source of nutrition.
Interesting.
Well,
yeah.
So your cow will, I never knew that. So, because I've never actually seen, hopefully this March, we see our first birth. So you're telling me that the cow gives birth and then it eats the placenta?
Yeah. And one of the ways that we identify a cow that's going to calve is that she'll actually separate herself from the rest of the cows. She'll be off in the corner hiding. And then she'll take care of any evidence, and then she'll go off and graze and come back. And then so I often ask myself too, like, why is it that the conventional system seems to work well for the farmers that do it, for the conventional way of separating the calf at birth, and then have them in a calf hutch, for example. And it's because naturally the mom would hide the calf, leave, hope a predator doesn't find the calf, and then come back to feed the calf.
Yeah, but I guess that's the difference, is that the mom comes back to feed it, whereas in conventional dairy farms, they never come back. They're taken and they never...
And then if you take them right away after birth, the mom never has a chance to form that maternal bond.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you don't have as much distress as you would experience if the calf is together with the mom for a week, a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever. It's actually more difficult to separate them because they form that maternal bond. And that's actually...
The vegans are going to hate that. They're going to just go to town on that.
Yeah, so like that maternal bond is actually a unique point that counters one of the reasons given to remove the calf, because they say dairy cows are terrible mothers, which they are. But even the worst first-time mothers that I've seen on our farm, and then I leave them in the pen with their calf. The calf starts suckling on the mom. The mom releases oxytocin. Oxytocin is a bonding hormone.
Yeah.
They form the maternal bond, and then that heifer, that indifferent heifer transforms into an attentive mother within a day.
Right.
Like, it's great. It's amazing to watch.
It is amazing, because, I mean, like, we only saw Mabel and Dexter at 6 months. Dexter, I don't know why I call her Dexter. Mary Lou and Mabel. She is a Dexter. She's a fantastic mother. It's so endearing to see them, like, licking and cuddling, and how it's just
rewarding.
It's just so cool. It's just so cool to see it.
It is, yeah. I love seeing it. It brings me a lot of joy.
Yeah.
And I'm not normally like a very touchy-feely kind of guy, but like I love it.
Yeah,
Makes
it's
me
really
happy.
sweet. Yeah, because they're happy, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to what we already just talked about, like how I wean those calves. So I'm working with their nature. So these calves they're in and out of this pen on their own. And I notice, like, as they get older, they spend more and more time in this corner pen away from their moms. And sometimes the mom's not happy about it. Like, the mom will be like calling to the calves from the edge of the weaning pen, and the calves just be chilling in this little corner pen with the other calves of its age. So then I've noticed, like, as they get older and older, they spend more and more time with the calves their own age, less time with their mothers. And then what we do is we started at 2 months, and then they're already in there. We just close the gate, and then they can't leave. And then instead of the calf leaving to go to the mom, we bring the mom to the calf. The calf can stick its head through the pen, and then when we bring the mom over, and then we hold the mom there with a loose gate, and then the calf just drinks its fill. And at the start, I bring the moms over to the pen, however often it takes, to hear no vocalization, no stress. So whatever it takes, 3, 4, 5, whatever, doesn't matter how many times. If I hear a calf mooing or complaining, I'll bring one of the moms over and she'll feed them, and then I'll do that for a week. And then on the next week, I'll take one of the feedings away. And then a week after that, I'll do 2 feedings. Then I'll do 1 feedings, which is mean like I bring the mom over one time in the day. And then if I hear some vocalizations, it's too early. You keep on what you were doing the previous week. And then by the end, I'll milk the cow first, and then I'll bring the mom over to the babies. And then
Interesting.
so like at the very end, like they still have some suckling. They might get like the last liter or so out of the udder, and that's it. But like it's gradually weaning off the milk, but you're also gradually weaning them off of contact with their mother.
Right.
Like you're gradually weaning them off of all of it.
Interesting. So in the setup that you saw for me, you saw my barn, and you saw the little lean-to out in the pasture where they hang out, where the sheep were. Where would you, if you were me, when Mabel has her next calf, where would you put the calf to keep them separate but being able to interact? Like,
Yeah, I would do like right where you already have some solid gates where you have like the where the cows can go in and out of that little pasture area.
Yeah.
I would just buy 2 more gates and then make a square.
okay.
And then you have to have a point or maybe cut a hole into one of the gates or something like that where the calf can sneak in.
Okay.
So it's something that's like lower. It's like it's
Gotcha.
too low for the mom to come in.
Yeah.
And then I just have that corner sitting there where the calf can go if it wants to or it doesn't have to.
Okay.
And then that's where I would like give the calf some extra treats or something if it wanted it, or
Yeah.
a salt lick or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't force the calves to be in there. They just
Okay.
they
They
just
come in
want to.
when they want
It
to.
seems,
Yeah.
yeah. They just
Some
want
space.
a break from mom, I guess.
Yeah.
And then and then it's really neat to watch when there's a group of calves because they really seem to want to hang out with their buddies their
Well,
own
they
age.
bond, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're little kindergartens is what I've heard it called.
Yeah.
Yeah, little calf kindergartens.
So
That's so cute.
cute.
Yeah, that's
And then
cute.
as they get older, they spend more and more times in their little calf kindergartens and less time with their mom.
It does sound like it's more work, though. Doing the gradual weaning off.
It's definitely more work than just putting in a nose flap, which is what I've
Yeah.
heard of any other farmer that's managing their calves this way. They all use nose flaps.
Mm-hmm.
But like the downside of that is that it's cold turkey weaning. Like all of a
Right.
sudden, one day to the next, no milk.
Right.
Right.
The stress that can do, though, eh?
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
more stressful, and that's part of the big reason or the motivation is like right around that time. That's when the calves are more vulnerable to getting sick, to getting pneumonia, and that's because they first have their passive immunity from the colostrum from their mom, and that lasts 2-3-ish months, and then they have to start building their own immunity.
Right.
So right around the time when you typically would start a weaning process is
Oh,
also the same
interesting.
time where they're more vulnerable because their immune system is switching
Interesting.
over. So if you stress them out in that period when they're more vulnerable already,
Right.
well, boom, now all of a
That's
sudden
really
you have pneumonia.
interesting.
That's
really
helpful to know, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's break this down. It's 2025. We live in a world where you can walk into a grocery store, buy pasteurized milk that's been ultra heat treated, stripping it of nutrients, and then have synthetic vitamins dumped back in. We can eat cricket flour in our kids' snacks. You can buy cheese slices that aren't legally cheese. We can get meth from just about anywhere legally, and of course marijuana. But if I sell my neighbor a jar of milk straight from a healthy cow I handled this morning, it's a crime. Like an actual crime, like a
Yeah.
very, very big crime.
That's right.
So what do you say to people who are afraid of raw milk?
That there is some sort of motivation behind the communication behind the safety of raw milk where they're trying to make it sound dangerous. But if you actually look at the exact same numbers that are given to you as a reason for it being dangerous, if you look at those same numbers and you look at it critically, you realize that it actually is not dangerous, and especially not dangerous compared to other foods that are perfectly legal in the grocery store. So if it was truly about safety, there would be far more illegal foods in the grocery store. But
Yeah.
but raw milk is literally the only illegal food that exists.
So
It is, eh?
crazy. Yeah, you're right. Like what else? What
Right.
other food product is illegal?
Nothing. Yeah, it's all up to us. It's our even raw meat. Like they say it's so
Right.
dangerous. You can still go and buy raw meat,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they trust that you'll go and cook it.
Right. Like that's actually a really good point.
That is a really
Like
good
I can't
point.
go to the I used to work in a restaurant like when I was a million years ago, but if you ordered a hamburger and you said can you cook it medium, like I would have to say no. Like I legally can't do that. Like I have to serve it like well done.
Yeah.
You can't cook a hamburger medium. But if you go home, I mean, in theory, yeah, you're just like the government's just trusting that you're not going to cook that medium well or medium rare. It has to be well done.
Yeah. So if we actually look at those numbers given to us by the Center of Disease Control,
Yeah.
what they often quote is that you are 848 times more likely to get sick from raw milk than pasteurized milk. So that sounds dangerous.
Right.
That's relative risk. But if I look at those exact same numbers, and then instead of relative risk, I look at the absolute risk. So if I were to drink raw milk every day for a whole year, I have a 0.00167% chance of getting sick in that whole year.
Right.
So, like, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Like that's such a
doesn't.
low number that like
It's the same
800
playbook as COVID. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
Absolute versus relative.
Yeah, so like a tiny number, and then you multiply that 848 times, it's still a tiny number.
Right.
So like
Right. It's so true. 0.0001 times 848 is still
a tiny number.
less than, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the math. Keep talking.
Yeah. So then if you look at like other foods, like there's like a 1 in 600,000 chance that you'll get sick in a year drinking raw milk.
Right.
600,000. So if you compare that to shellfish, you have a 1 in 1,095 chance of getting sick if you are somebody that consumes shellfish in that year annually.
Right.
And then like deli meat is something like 1 in 3,000 something. So like it's like like how many multiple times more dangerous are those foods compared to raw milk?
Absolutely.
So like it depends on how you look at the numbers, and like those are the numbers that I pulled from the CDC itself.
Right. By the way, that number is still under 1%. It's still not. It's still 0.08%. So that's crazy.
Yeah. So like for some people, it's like, oh, any greater risk isn't worth the risk.
Yeah.
But
right.
for other people like that, like myself, like I would have accidentally the tiniest little bit of milk in a sausage that's like milk powder or something like that.
Right.
And I would blow it up like I'm 9 months pregnant.
Right.
And like, and then like, so some people like me, all of a sudden I can drink raw milk by the liter, no issues.
Yeah.
It's like, it's completely worth that, like
the risk.
that little extra risk, that tiny little risk of me getting sick, to drink that raw milk, because like I struggled to gain weight without it. And it wasn't until I added raw milk back in my diet that I started noticing my list of food sensitivities finally starting to decrease instead of increase.
So,
And also I've been finally been able to put on some healthy weight, put on some muscle mass.
so what's the difference? Why did that make you healthy?
What is the reason? Well, there's so many things in raw milk. And I think a lot of people would get upset with me saying it, but there's so much things in raw milk that pasteurized milk does not have. Mm-hmm. And we are constantly told that there's no nutritional difference. But I came across a study, an old study, but it's a pretty convincing one nonetheless, where they fed rats nothing but milk, either pasteurized milk or raw milk. And then the rats that were fed nothing but pasteurized milk got a B6 deficiency and a calcium deficiency. And milk's supposed to be a great source of calcium.
Right.
It is supposed to be.
But the ones that were fed the raw milk were big, strong, healthy. They had no issues. They were completely healthy rats.
Interesting.
So like, how could there like? So yes, that calcium that's in the pasteurized milk and the calcium in the raw milk is the same amount, which is why they say there's no nutritional difference. But the raw milk has the enzymes that helps with its absorption.
Right.
Yes.
So now all of a sudden you're actually getting the calcium that is in that milk.
You're absorbing it.
Yeah. So like, but there's 60 different enzymes in raw milk that all have different functions. Every mineral in raw milk has an enzyme to go along with it to help with its absorption and help your body utilize it. Let alone like other enzymes that help with there's not just enzymes, but cytokines as well. Cytokines are like signaling proteins that like signal the cells in your gut lining to mature, to heal. And like there's all sorts of different cytokines that have all kinds of different functions, probably most of which we don't even understand. Wow. But like they help, they're helping the calf's gut to grow and mature and heal and like fight off infections. There's enzymes that help with infections. So that's one of the natural defenses. There's at least four different enzymes that they know have antimicrobial effects that are the natural defenses against getting sick from raw milk. And then, and then like the nutrients themselves, the vitamins and the proteins, they're all damaged or denatured during the heating process.
Right. And then they have to add them back in.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, they added vitamin D and stuff like that. But and then, Yeah, so like those are all big differences, and then also the bacteria itself, like it's a probiotic,
Right.
And then you can do one better, like where you can make kefir, which is how I usually try to consume my milk. Is I drink liters of kefir every day, and then as well as just raw milk as well. Yeah.
Well, my next question was going to be, how do we educate people to not be fearful of it? But I mean, you pretty well just answered the question. They just need to be educated on what the difference is and what's in it, without a scare tactic behind it.
Yeah, and this is part of the programming that we've been raised on. It's unsafe if it's raw, but like a friend of mine was a dairy farmer growing up, and it was everybody that we know that's dairy farmers, they drink it raw.
They do, yeah.
So
Yeah, but then we're told that's dangerous, which is strange. But if you actually look at like how many people have died from raw milk, nobody.
It's the same
For
yeah.
15 years, not a single
Yeah.
person has died drinking raw milk.
Yeah.
If you compare that to the deaths of like alcohol, which is
Yeah.
perfectly legal, drugs, which is
100%. And people always
fast food.
People always bring that back to, like when you talk about the deaths, they always bring that back to, well, this is why we had to pasteurize milk, because milk was so dirty and disgusting. And it's like, nobody wants to talk about that. We built cities, and then we brought cows into cities, and then we milked them with raw sewage underneath, beside, around, everywhere. And it wasn't that the cows were producing bad milk. It's that their udders were probably, like, when I go to milk Mabel in the morning, if, like, I keep those pens pretty clean. I clean them every day. But if she takes a shit in the middle of the night and then lays in her shit, which they do, and I bring her in to milk her, and I were to milk her without washing my hands, washing her udders, and then put that milk into my pail, not pasteurize it, and drink it, yeah, I might get sick. But it has nothing to do with the health of the cow or the milk. It has to do with my practices.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened in the late early 1900s, is that it was just a disgusting cesspool of shit, and they're blaming it on the cattle, but it was the environment.
Yeah, they call them swill dairies.
Swill dairies.
Yeah, because they were fed the swill, which is just the byproducts of the brewery industry. So they weren't fed forage. They weren't fed any fiber. Well, fiber that's in like the byproducts. They were fed were the byproducts like of the brewery, of the breweries, the grains that were fed. It's like a completely unnatural diet.
Interesting.
And
I did not know that.
And like back then, don't forget, they didn't even I don't think penicillin was even invented yet, or maybe it was just starting. So like, they didn't even understand where infections came from. So the workers, they got cold hands working in this warehouse with cows. So they were sticking their hands and feet in the milk to warm up that they were selling raw.
Oh,
and
wow.
then because these
you
cows were giving a completely unnatural diet,
Right.
it wasn't white. The milk wasn't white. It was watery and pale. So they would add chalk to the milk to make it look more natural, so people would actually buy it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so this is what made people sick. And then all of a sudden, thousands of babies were dying. And like, okay, well, instead of fixing this atrocity that we have in the next to our brewery, like we'll just pasteurize it. Like, even though like for years before then, we were drinking raw milk fine from the countryside on cows on pasture,
Right.
and that were cleaned properly. And then like that was never a problem. It was only once that we brought them into the city under these filthy conditions that people started dying, and they say, "Oh, milk is dangerous. We got to pasteurize it."
That's
Fear
crazy.
Fear mongering with it, eh?
Yeah, and I think why is milk still illegal? And I really think the biggest problem is something that we've always done.
And now they're going after buffalo and goats, because so the guy that kind of got me into this, because like I said, we were city slickers. We had a 4-bedroom, 4-bath house in a nice neighborhood, and lived that hive mentality life. But in 2013, when I started doing CrossFit, that's when I started to take my food very seriously. And there was a guy that was part of this underground raw milk system.
Right.
And you could order through the gym. And this
Okay.
guy would go and pick up your order every other week, and he'd bring it to the gym at a certain time, and you could get your stuff. So I started doing that. And I mean, I didn't even know I had no idea. Like, I was doing this and I really didn't know. I really didn't understand. I started to learn more about it. And I was like, okay, this is crazy. And it was good. And he was getting it from this guy. And he had a Jersey herd that was like 10. He'd been doing it for 10, 15 years, like breeding. He might be from Holland too, to be honest with you. Most of you guys, I guess most of you guys are.
Yes.
But he had got this herd to exactly what he wanted, A2, like, this most pristine herd. And the government came in one day and said, you're done. You've got X number of weeks to get rid of the cattle, sell them off, do whatever you have to do, but your operation's done. So, I mean, he was on, I don't think he's 210 cows, but he's got to be, 60, 70, 80 buffalo? We were there.
Yeah, right.
So he had to switch everything. He had to get rid of all of them and then start building a new buffalo herd. Because once you're on the radar,
Yeah, no,
you're
they watch you
fucked.
like a hawk.
You're done. So he knew he was done with dairy. It wasn't going to happen anymore. So he started to do the buffalo. And that's been probably 4 years or 5 years now that he's been doing buffalo. And then just this year we heard that through the Raw Milk Alliance of Canada. I don't know if you know who that is, but we heard that they're going after buffalo now and goat. Because I think right now goat's milk is legal to drink raw.
It's legal to transport. It's also legal to sell as pet food, but it has to be labeled as pet food.
Right. So anyway, now they'll be cracking down on that, and you won't be able to sell it as pet food. You won't be able to sell buffalo to consume. It's all going to be under the same branding of
regulations.
Yep. But isn't it interesting though that the government is allowing young children to be put on hormone blockers, approving seed oils, right? Like all the seed oils that we're having, sugar-laced baby formulas, allowing synthetic meat, GMOs, insect proteins, but raw milk from a healthy cow the fucking line is drawn. I mean, to me, that's it's almost like it's not about safety, but it's about control.
I was going to say, Sandor, can you share what your thoughts are on why there's such restrictions and regulations around raw milk in the milk industry? Maybe you can touch also on the quota, because I don't think a lot of people understand how the quota works.
I'm thinking it's just because they know that if people start fucking drinking raw milk, that they might not be dying. Everybody might not be dying. Like that there might be some improvements in people's health.
Yeah, no, like quota is a system that we have in Canada, and is where the quota technically is permission to sell milk. Is what quota is, and we have to buy that permission, and then the more milk we want to sell, the more permission we have to buy first.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
So and it's based off of the kilos of fat that we produce, and then the protein and whatever else comes along with it. But that's what we're buying. We're buying permission.
Okay, so let's say it's the 25th day of the month, and you've hit your quota, and you can't ask for any more permission. So what happens to the rest of the 7 days of milk that you have for the rest of the month?
So what happens currently is that you have a certain amount of over credits and under credits that you're allowed from like your quota holdings.
Okay.
And then once you're past that, then you start shipping. Even if you ship that milk, you still have the cost of producing it, the cost of shipping it, the cost of processing it, but you get nothing for it, basically.
So is that when you see guys dumping milk?
Yeah.
Would they rather just say, fuck it, I'm going to dump it instead of...
You don't have to pay for the transportation, and the processing. And I guess to the point where like they'll actually fine you. So like you're better off just dumping it. It's cheaper. At least then you can fertilize your field with it.
Right.
But like it's ridiculous.
It's so crazy.
But like the dumping of the milk, if you manage your production properly, it shouldn't be necessary to dump it. Okay. That's pretty extreme. Like we even like when we'll like just turn a whole bunch into cheese. And fill up our fridge for a whole year just so that we can not dump it. But we have like a whole calving cycle worked in, so we know like that we won't produce too much milk, and then we'll sell cows too for beef if it gets to that point.
So you'll take a Holstein that's a dairy, like a female dairy, and you'll sell her for meat if you're like having too much.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah, and then it becomes your McDonald's meat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
we could talk about that. I don't know that I agree that that's what the meat is from McDonald's, but that's a whole other episode, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
So, do you think the war on raw milk is really about health, or is it about protecting big industry?
If it was about, that makes no sense. Like, I feel like it's more about it being about what we've always done, because it was dangerous in the past, back when it was swill dairies, not true dairies. And like the product was completely different and dangerous. And then they had, the quota system didn't always exist in Canada. So I think they had to introduce the quota system, and they had to enforce the quota system. So I feel like it was also useful back when they first started the quota system to make it easier to enforce it if raw milk was illegal. If you were not allowed, if it was illegal to sell the milk straight from the farm.
Right.
So like, but now the quota system is accepted. Everybody knows it. Everybody does it. And now they've even introduced an artisan dairy program where there are farmers that can produce unique products on farm, process it on farm, pasteurize it on farm, and sell it. So I think the time has come where like there's really no less control having a farmer process their own milk on farm and selling it than were they to sell raw milk from the farm.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's
So
interesting.
like the program exists. I think it would be a very small step to allow raw milk.
And I don't think that it would overwhelm the system. Like, I can't imagine that every commercial dairy farmer is going to be like, fuck yes, I'm quitting the quota system. I'm moving over to artisan. I'm going to sell direct to consumer and raw. I just don't see that happening.
No, and it's like at the moment, it remains a niche product. So there's just going to be certain people that are already in the artisan program, or that are more like used to telling their story and having that relationship with consumers, direct to consumer.
Yeah.
That will take advantage of that.
Yeah, like
but
people like us.
But nothing really would change.
No.
Like I don't understand. Like it's not logical, really, in my opinion. Like it's not. If you look at it, they say it's because it's dangerous. It's not. And if it was, there'd be lots of other foods that should be illegal that aren't. And then like the control side thing is no longer an issue as maybe it was when they first started the quota system. There already is an artisan program. So like it doesn't make sense to me. I think it's just something that we've always done, and we just kind of.
So you don't think it's to protect? Like, okay, what I'm trying to get at is I think there has something to do with the government wants their fucking hand in everything. We know that. And so if someone like me was allowed to sell raw milk independent of the system, I might say to my customers, cash only. Are they afraid of that? Like, could that be something that they don't want? This is the level of control that they'll go to simply so that I won't sell my producer a $10 liter of milk. This way, with the quota system and the illegalization of raw milk, I can't do that. So they're basically taking every single guy that's got a fucking cow out of the equation of being able to earn money from that cow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it. And there is a suspicious amount of things speaking to that direction. But personally, I try to stay away from what do you call that?
Conspiracy
theory. Thank you. Yeah, because it almost like puts things out of my control. You know what I mean?
No, that's
Whereas
fair.
like if I go and say, hey, this doesn't make sense, if I whip up some support on social media, maybe I can make a difference, and I can do something about that.
Right.
Maybe I can contact the DFO and put pressure on them, and say like, hey, the reasons you're giving don't make sense, which I've done. But maybe there's something I can do. Maybe change can happen.
Right.
But if I say this is this big system that's working to oppress me, maybe it's true. It is suspicious, but like it does. I don't find it very helpful.
Okay. Have you had any personal run-ins with any of the like milk police or anything like that?
No, I'm not on their radar yet. No,
Okay.
That's right. Thank goodness for that too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not selling it raw, so
No, that's right.
It's just your voice.
Yeah,
I guess.
I drink it myself,
But-
and which is perfectly legal on the farm on our own property, and it's made a world of difference for my health. And I think it's a shame that the average person doesn't have that choice.
Yeah.
Can you speak to your social media and what's kind of transpired with being more open?
Yeah, it's unfortunate because like there's really no winning when you're on social media. Like you can't do right. So yeah, so like one of the things that like with trying to transition our farm over to regenerative practices is like, oh, I gotta get the word out. I gotta practice telling our story. So I do make content on social media and try different things and learn like how to speak in ways that's more respectful to like other conventional farmers too. Like as a line I crossed once, and I tried my very best to not put shade on the industry
Yeah.
because
Right.
my long-term dream is to be an example and like inspire more farms to make the same transition that I'm trying to make. And but then on the other hand, like I'm talking about the changes that we're trying to make, and then there's plenty of people, especially the vegan community, that says it's never good enough. You're
Right.
still a monster. You're horrible.
It's-
like I hope what happens to you is the same thing that happens like that you do to your animals, kind of thing like that. And
People are
And,
people are unhinged on his account. Like you guys wouldn't believe the amount of, and he gets a lot of comments. Like he gets a ton of interactions, which is like only good for you.
yeah. So
It
it's
is-
like at the end of the day, like after like 3 or 4 comments, I just like thanks for the engagement.
That's
And
that's
where
what
I leave it.
that's what he says, and I'm always like, fuck. If he's saying that, I guess I gotta stop. There's no point.
No, it's all great, but it's like, yeah, they're always trying to like gotcha. They're always trying to get
Yeah,
you, and
yeah.
get you like prove you that you're
Yeah.
doing something wrong, kind of thing,
Right.
which I'm not.
Which
So,
meanwhile,
like,
I mean, you're doing like you said about the sanctuary. I don't know if we said it on here or if it was before when we were talking, but I agree with you that I think sanctuaries are. I don't think that they're where that animal would actually rather be. They'd rather be in a natural environment where they have a real it's like it'd be like living in a park, like us, like at a swing set. Like
Yeah,
what
yeah.
the fuck am I doing here? Like I've played on this fucking swing set every day for the past 5 years. I'm tired of it. I don't want to look at these fences. I want to go.
Yeah.
Like when I just told you that I opened up that back 5 acres, the Holstein was kicking,
yeah,
running and
it's great to
kicking,
watch.
and like
tail up in the air. Yeah,
so
yeah.
happy to have a new fucking spot to explore.
Yeah.
I'm not in this like same 2 acre pasture now. I've got something new. They want change. Like they love that.
Yeah, change, but and also like one of the ways that I like to measure welfare is a cow's ability to express their natural behaviors. And one problem with animal sanctuaries is there's very limited space. They don't get the chance to reproduce. They don't get a chance to express their maternal behaviors.
Right.
So it's like, is it really what that cow would want?
Right.
And I would say no, but which is also part of the reason why I've been trying so hard to make it work to keep our cows and calves together. Is because like at the moment in conventional dairy farms, dairy cows do not have the opportunity to express their maternal behaviors.
Right.
So that's one of the things I'm trying to change, and I think it's a pretty measurable improvement in welfare if I can make it work. If you can keep the calves healthy.
Right.
Which is why typically they're separated.
Right.
If the calves are sick and dying,
Yeah.
it's clearly not an improvement in welfare.
No.
You're
Right.
better off staying with the status quo.
But you seem to have a
my,
handle on it.
Yeah. I've been able to. I've been pretty careful, and I've been taking steps, and I've been able to make it work. Where the calves are not getting pneumonia, they're not getting scours, the cows aren't getting mastitis, and they're not getting crushed. The cows are not terrible mothers; they're great mothers, and I can wean them gradually. It's not more stressful at weaning.
Right.
And like the really only last hurdle that I need to overcome is milk letdown. There's a certain percentage of the cows that don't let their milk down for their calves. And I feel like the best solution is on a small scale, you can have the calf getting beside you while you milk the cow.
Right.
And that'll help with milk letdown. On a larger scale, on commercial farms, larger farms, that's not realistic. So I feel like in that case, the best solution is genetics. You select for the family lines that have good milk letdown, even if they're raising their own calf.
Interesting. Well, that's interesting. That's something
Yeah.
that because I've definitely suffered from. I've encountered having her not let down, and then letting down, and it's like holy shit. Like so, you just weren't letting down. Like
Yeah.
that was again. You have to remember, I never took a 6-month course in milking cows. Okay, I just got a fucking cow, and like
Yeah.
why? I guess
Figuring it
I
out.
don't know. I don't
That's
know
a
what
way
I'm
better
doing.
way to learn.
Right? So I have no education in it whatsoever other than like what I see in videos and this and that. So I've experienced that, and that's so interesting Because when the calf is beside her, she does let down more.
That's right.
That's why I bring her into the barn and have her eat right next to me.
Yeah, and then you can, if that doesn't even work, you can have a real stubborn cow. You can have the calf suckling on 1/4,
right,
while you milk the other 3.
Right.
Yeah, and that's great on a small scale.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't work as well on a larger scale. And then like my other point towards the animal sanctuaries, which is actually what my article was about back in the day, where we got a mountain of hate, like hundreds and hundreds of comments a day, because it was shared by like these massive vegan influencers that actually had an animal sanctuary, and then on these vegan forums. Like, the point I was making is that on a grand scheme, it's not an improvement in welfare, because there's a very, very limited number of animals that can be supported in animal sanctuaries based off of donations.
Sure, 100%.
So basically what you're doing is you're wiping that animal off the face of the planet.
Interesting.
So like, you can't say that is an improvement in like the sum total of happiness of these cattle, when the species basically will stop existing.
That's so true, because it's like, if you think of, remember Tiger King? The show Tiger King?
No, I don't. Sorry.
You're saved. Don't worry. You saved yourself. You shouldn't have watched it.
Okay.
Anyway, the point that I'm making is that there's more tigers in captivity, in private captivity in the States, than there are in the world naturally.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, like, is that what they want? Do they want to live in Mike Tyson's fucking backyard in a fucking cage? Or do they want to live in Africa in the fucking, safari? I don't even know, wherever they're living. But would they rather live there than in Mike Tyson's fucking backyard? Probably. They probably don't want to be in private captivity or in sanctuaries when they could be
free.
Yeah, chasing antelope and
then like, say, I
else.
compare it to the alternative. Like, what if instead of wiping the species off the face of the planet, we just work towards giving them more and more positive experiences,
Right.
improving their welfare, and then one quick and then painless death at the end of their life, at the end of a long, happy life. Like, what if we did that instead? Like, what is a net positive of welfare to the species?
Yeah, exactly.
It's overwhelmingly more
Absolutely.
positive than the vegan solution.
We have another friend that farms, and her motto is one bad day.
Yeah.
So they have one bad day, they have a great life, and then they have one bad day. And I like that. I think that makes a lot of sense.
That's basically the goal with our farm and Moral Eats, and what we're trying to do, and like the change that we're trying to make is like, how can we give our farm animals the best life possible?
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do on our farm.
That is ethical farming at its core, right? Because there's so much care and love that goes into the work that you do, and like, it's genuine.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're working with integrity. And I think that's where there's so many people that are so far removed from the food system. Mm-hmm. And we are really learning so much from living here on the farm, and you hand milking the cow, and us growing your own food and not spraying everything. And
I have a milker, by the way. My cow won't let me use it.
Oh no, she like kicks it off.
Yeah, she like kicks me. Like,
shit.
It's just not happening. So I put it away, and I'm gonna try again when she calves in March, and I'm gonna like maybe use those shackles, because she picks up her feet.
Yeah.
And she just moves back and forth, or like kicks. She's not a bad cow. Like, she's not like a kicker, but with that milker, she just wasn't going to have it. But
yeah. Usually older cows get a little more relaxed too, so that.
Okay,
that'll
so
help.
it's her first time milking too.
Yeah. So maybe that'll change.
Yeah.
Okay. So more and more people. Okay, I want to start with this. 20 to 60%. There's a 20 to 60% annual increase in people wanting raw milk, and there is a decrease annually of people drinking pasteurized dairy.
Fluid milk,
So
yes.
more people want raw milk. More people want to support local farms, opt out of processed food. They want to take their health into their own hands, but we're stuck in a system that criminalizes that. What do you think that we can do? What do you think we can actually do to change that?
I think like if we look to the States, I think it's a pretty good example of the possibility of change, where there's enough people making their voice heard,
Yeah.
that it became a political issue.
Right.
And now all of a sudden it's in the politics, and they're getting voted in based off of the policies that they promised to put in place. And I feel like there's real opportunities there. And then that's one direction. Another direction is that we can learn from marijuana. Where with marijuana, they found that person that was sick, and they found that with marijuana, they became better. They removed marijuana, they got worse.
Yeah.
So it became a medical,
Interesting.
like a medical concern. Whereas like if they don't get their marijuana, they'll get sick. So then they said, okay, then they used that person as an example. They brought it through the legal system. That person told their story, and that's how they forced the legalization of marijuana, is for this person's medical concerns.
Interesting.
So like the other way is that you have that person that drinks raw milk. They're sick. They're medically sick. They have a note from their doctor. This person is sick. They drink the raw milk legally somehow, if they have their own cow, or if they bring it from the States,
Right.
which is still illegal. They drink that raw milk. They get better. The doctor has that legal note. This person's getting better. I'm not sure what you're doing. Keep doing it, kind of thing. It's like, oh, it's raw milk. That's the only change I've made. And then they remove the raw milk. They get worse again. That's the person that can, with a good legal team, can legalize raw milk.
That's an
interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, well, just a couple more things here. This is funny, actually. I'm asking you now, what advice would you give to someone who wants raw milk in Ontario? And I'm asking this because it's kind of like a backhanded, like sarcastic question. I'm on this stupid Facebook group that I don't participate in. I'm just on it because I love to read comments. I just love to read the comments. And it's called like Raw Milk Alliance of Ontario or something like that. And it's just a bunch of people that basically go on Facebook and they make a post. And it says, hey, I'm in Woodstock. Who has raw milk available? And it's like, are you fucking retarded? Like, do you really think that anyone in Woodstock that's selling illegal raw milk is going to go on this Facebook page and say, hey, I'm at 25 whatever street or 7879 Folden's line. Come on in and I'll sell it to you. Like, it's never going to happen.
We also have meth. Would you like some meth? Right?
But I've got meth I could sell you. But like, so that's kind of funny. But like, what advice would you give to somebody that wants raw milk in Ontario?
Yeah, well, one thing is to keep making your voice heard, keep talking about it, posting about it, complaining about it, mailing your MPs or whatever like that. But like that's one way. And then the other way is like you can find ways to have it legally. Like at the moment, I'm not sure how much longer. You said you can get the water buffalo milk, or you can get goat's milk that's labeled for pet use.
Refresh them how they can get it from the States again.
Yeah, but you can legally drive across the border, buy it from a farm, and then bring up to 20 liters, claim it at the border. And then nobody will stop you because it's perfectly legal. You can drive all around Ontario with this raw milk, this 20 liters of raw milk, and you can drink that. That's fine. That's perfectly legal. So like, if it was truly about safety, like why is that allowed?
Right.
But me personally, as a dairy producer, I cannot leave my farm with a liter of raw milk.
Interesting. That's so fascinating that they want us to drive to another country and bring their products that may not meet our regulations here.
They have different
right?
quality standards in the U.S.
So, but they're saying go there with these different standards, buy it, bring it back. That's okay. But supporting your local farmer down the road, illegal.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
So backwards. So backwards.
So how can people support regenerative farmers in their area?
Yeah, it's very powerful way, and it's just by taking advantage of supply and demand. You buy direct from a farmer who you believe is producing food in a responsible way, in an ethical way, and buy direct from them. Support that farmer.
Yeah.
That's literally the best way that you can make a difference. It's not by posting angry comments online and all sorts of rage bait and stuff like that. No, just buy direct from a farmer who does things in a way that you approve of.
So how can people support you directly?
Thank you. Yeah. So we actually have a farm. We make content online, and to promote our farm and our business, More Elite. So we have an online farm, and we deliver regenerative products across Ontario. Anywhere in Ontario, we sell, and we deliver. Yeah. So
what products are available to people from your farm?
So our farm is grass-fed beef, pastured turkeys, pastured chickens, pastured eggs. And then we also source pastured pigs at the moment. We do hope to raise them ourselves at some point. And then we get some wild caught, sustainably sourced fish as well.
Oh, cool.
So so that's what we deliver and sell on farm. And then we hope to maybe in the next 2 to 3 years start selling milk or dairy products of some sort. I'm thinking maybe cheese, because I can legally sell raw cheese if I age it for 2 months.
Okay.
So I was thinking of
Really?
starting with cheese. And then that'll be a unique product where it'll all be from cows that had the opportunity to raise their own calf, and
That's very cool.
and
Yep.
then ship that and add that
That's
to our list. Yeah.
amazing.
So we have like an online store, just
Okay.
moreleats.com.
So we'll get you to send me the links. Maybe you can send your Instagram, you can send your website, and we'll put the links in the description of the episode. What's your hope for? What is your hope for the future of farming? Farming and food freedom, really.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic with the future of agriculture. I don't think commercial farmers are necessarily stuck in their ways. Like if they find, or if they're shown a way that's better, that's more profitable, that's more sustainable, that's more ethical, and they're showing it and they see it, especially like a farm like ours is powerful because we are currently a commercial farm. So like they'll be able to see themselves in our farm, and then we show them the way. I feel like that many commercial farms will make that transition, and then also like small farms, small direct, as more and more people buy direct from farmers, they'll be more profitable. It'll be more realistic for these small farms to like they have a functional business. So
Right.
that'll become more popular as well. So I see it coming from both directions. Commercial farms will transition as they see these regenerative practices working, and then more and more of these smaller farms will have a sustainable business.
Yep.
And then that'll become more popular as well.
Well, if we lived in a sane world, we wouldn't be called radical for having this kind of a conversation.
Yeah.
I think, right? Like
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy that this is considered like a radical thing. Hey, maybe I should be able to drink maybe I should be able to drink milk from a cow that's fresh, that isn't put in a microwave. Like maybe that might be better for everybody's health. Maybe we wouldn't have such a health crisis in a country that's supposed to have the best healthcare in the world. Maybe everybody wouldn't be sick.
Yeah, we're clearly doing something wrong.
Right?
Yeah.
But we wanted to thank you, Sandor. This has been like I had a great time. I learned a ton, and I think I know everything, and I know I got proved today that I don't know everything about regenerative farming, so that's good because it's always nice to get.
You opened our eyes for some things
Great,
as well.
great.
For sure.
So it was wonderful. And what's your farm's name?
Moral Eats.
Moral Eats.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
and you found him on
I found him on Instagram, and I
Instagram?
loved him right away because he was doing this. He was doing this post about how he was comparing what the criminalization would be selling cocaine. He was like, I'd be smarter to sell cocaine in Ontario than I would raw milk because the punishment is less.
Yes, that's right. 2 years and not technically any sort of fine or anything like is for selling cocaine for a month straight. Whereas I sell raw milk for a month straight, I get 3 years in jail. I get $860,000 fine, and I lose my license to sell milk. So it's like, yeah, and like that video got taken down. So then I had to put it back up, and then I got taken down again. And I couldn't message people for 3 days or something like that, like a little slap on the wrist. And then
For saying the truth, though, that's what's even.
so I was like, okay, so
even
what's going on?
crazier.
So then okay, maybe it's because I'm saying the word cocaine and having dollar signs in my video. So it's like, okay, so I use like all sort of like slang for the word cocaine. I was like, and it still got taken down. I was like, oh my goodness. So then I was like, okay, I messaged Instagram kind of thing, challenged it, and they did put it back up.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, so that was good. But yeah, I think because like I had made a video about the financial consequences of selling cocaine and used the word cocaine that it got flagged by their bots.
Oh, that's great.
Well, that's the more truth that you share, like there's something there with
Yeah.
you know.
Is there anything that you wanted to add that you didn't get a chance to say?
Yeah, I can reiterate because like the biggest message that I'd like to leave people with is what we already spoke about, is like you can make a massive difference just by buying direct. and taking advantage of supply and demand.
Well, I know
Yes.
that
Get
once
to know your farmer, shake
yeah.
a farmer's hand.
I
Yeah.
know that once we started to buy, like, again, I've been with the same guy for 2013, since 2013. And since meeting him, I've bought a farm and I'm farming. Like, that's how, doesn't get more fucking direct than that.
No, that's right. That's great.
But we still use him habitually every other week for our pickup. We get all of our, because I can't butcher a cow yet. I'm like one of those crazy vegans, I guess. I just can't bring myself to do it. So I still have to buy cows. So we get our cows from him still. We get our pigs from him still. And then we get some of the dairy products that I'm just not able to make yet, like sour cream. Of course, it's buffalo now. It's not that. But we've been doing that for ever and a day. And honestly, you saw our garden. So for the most part, we've become somewhat self-sufficient, and whatever we can't, we get from him. And we go to the grocery store like very rarely. And I mean, I think that's the goal, is if you can get all of your stuff from farmers direct, take the supermarket out of the fucking equation, we could make a real difference. Because if the supermarket chains saw that 20 to 60% decrease in consumer, they may even fight for the ability to sell products in their stores that people want.
Yep.
That's a long shot. I don't know, but who knows? I mean, if you know they're called the Raw Milk Company, I think in California.
Oh, Raw Farms. Yeah.
Raw Farms.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy is selling. I mean, he's in a major lawsuit right now. Like, he's in trouble with something, but he's selling not because he did anything wrong, just because of the regulations. But that guy's proof that he can barely keep up. He's in like 100 different chains of stores on the West Coast. Like, he's just everywhere. And it's just proof that there's such a demand.
That's right.
That I think that there's room for everybody in the market. That's the point I'm making. But anyways, we really appreciate you being here. Cheers.
It's been great.
Yeah. Thanks.
Clink, clink.
Clink, clink. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and follow our friend Sandor here online. Yeah, thanks.